I was 78 years old when it finally hit me. I had lived the wrong life. Not a bad life. I provided for my family. I was respected at work. I had a house, a pension, photos on the wall, and a name people recognized at the office. But lying in that hospital bed, listening to the machines beeping in the dark, one question kept stabbing me over and over like a slow knife. Who did you live for, really? I tried to answer with the usual phrases: for my family, to give stability to my children, to be a good husband, a good employee, a decent citizen. But the more I repeated those sentences, the emptier they sounded inside my head. They felt like nice slogans I had used for decades so I wouldn't have to face the simplest and most painful truth of all. I never lived for myself. I lived for the script that was placed in my hands when I was still young. My name doesn't matter. It could be yours, or anyone's who follows the straight line drawn in front of them. What matters is that I did everything right according to that script. I studied enough to get a stable job, not necessarily the one I loved, but the one that made sense. I accepted overtime, promotions, responsibilities that didn't excite me but paid the bills and made my parents proud. I got married, bought a house in a quiet neighborhood, paid installments, took the children to school, spent 2 weeks of vacation in the same place every year. Seen from the outside, my life looks like a catalog photo. Nothing spectacular, but safe, clean, predictable. Because of that, for decades I heard the same sentence: "You're a good man." No one saw the man living behind that label. A man who, every Monday morning, felt a weight on his chest as he put on the same shirt, took the same bus, sat in the same chair. A man who, long before he became old, already felt tired of himself. From very early on there was another voice in me, very quiet, almost whispering, "This is not your life." I heard it at 20, at 25, at 30, when I still had the energy to turn everything upside down. I heard it when I came home late, my tie tightening around my neck, and saw someone playing guitar in a square and felt an inexplicable jealousy of a complete stranger. I heard it when a co-worker quit his job to start a small business and everyone called him crazy. I was the first to say, "That's too risky," but deep down I was actually jealous of his courage. Even so, every time the voice said, "Change," another, much louder one shouted over it, "Not now. Now you have responsibilities. Later you'll think about it." And so I kept pushing my soul forward with my stomach, year after year. The lie that guided my existence was simple and therefore dangerous: purpose is a luxury. I believed that discovering what makes you come alive was something for rich people, for artists, for those who already had their life sorted out. My priority, I kept repeating, was to be realistic. First, stability. Then, maybe, one day, who knows, I would think about what I really wanted. As a result, the list of one day grew, and the list of now filled up with things that didn't belong to me. Safety became my religion. I prayed to it every day, sacrificed my time, my dreams, my health. Every time an opportunity appeared that smelled of risk, moving city, changing fields, accepting a job that lit me up inside but paid less, starting a small project in my spare time, I killed that idea with a phrase that sounded sensible but was cowardly: "It's not the right moment." I said that at 24, at 35, at 50. What I didn't realize was that "not now" is the polite way of saying never. I clearly remember the first big detour from the life that could have been mine. I was 24 when I received a letter from a friend who had moved abroad. He wrote excitedly about the new place, about working in a small sound studio, about how they needed someone responsible and organized to help. "It doesn't pay much at first," he admitted, "but you'd love the environment. And you always said you wanted to see the world." I reread that letter so many times the paper started to wear out along the folds. I could almost see another version of me walking through unknown streets, learning another language, feeling fear and excitement at the same time. One day, my father picked up the letter from the table and read the beginning. He handed it back without even finishing it and just said, "Don't be foolish. A secure job here is better than an uncertain adventure out there." I didn't argue. I folded the letter, put it in the bottom drawer of the dresser, and never answered. I told myself I was being sensible, loyal, responsible. In reality, I was letting fear choose for me. Another scene I carry with me is the guitar in the closet. Ever since I was a boy, music was the only thing that made time disappear for me. When I received my first bonus at work, at 30, instead of buying an expensive watch or a suit, I bought a guitar. For a while, I played every night after everyone went to bed. Those strings were the only part of the day when I felt whole. One evening, my wife passed by the door, leaned on the frame and said, half joking, half serious, "Imagine if you had chosen music instead of accounting." I laughed and replied with what I always said, "We'd be starving." And there the subject died. The truth is I never tested whether that sentence was real. I never gave music even the chance to support a part of my life. As the years went by, the guitar slowly left the stage. First from the corner of the living room to the bedroom, from the bedroom to the wardrobe, from the wardrobe to a box in the attic. Just like my purpose. Always a little further away, always a little more covered in dust. The final blow came many years later, on an apparently ordinary Sunday. We were all gathered for a family lunch when my grandson, who must have been about 8, looked at me with huge eyes and asked, "Grandpa, if you could be anything in the world, what would you be?" The question was simple but froze me. The automatic, socially acceptable answer would have been accountant, manager, what I had always been. But the word died in my throat. I heard another answer clearly inside my head. Musician. I said it out loud without thinking. The living room went silent for a few seconds. My grown-up daughter looked at me as if she were seeing a stranger sitting on her sofa. "I didn't know that about you," she said. That sentence hurt more than any illness or argument. My own family had no idea who I was inside. Not because they were inattentive, but because I never showed them the man who lived hidden behind the responsible father and the dedicated employee. I had hidden my true self so well that even the people I loved most were living with a mask instead of a man. Sometime after that lunch, my health began to fail. Things I thought were guaranteed stopped being so. The retirement I had imagined to be long and peaceful shrank into months of appointments, tests, and nights in hospital. It was on those nights, awake at 3 in the morning with the sound of monitors around me, that the phrase, "It's too late to change," started echoing loudly. I repeated it like someone praying a rosary in reverse. Now it's too late, now it's too late. Until one dawn, tired of hearing myself, I realized something that shook me. That sentence had never been true. It wasn't true when I was 24 with a letter in the drawer. It wasn't true at 30, when the guitar still lived in the living room. It wasn't true at 40 or 50, when I could have made small changes, said yes to a modest opportunity, taken a night class, reduced work hours to create space for something that made me feel alive. The problem was never that it was too late. The problem was that I always wanted a guarantee I wouldn't fail, that I wouldn't look ridiculous, that no one would disapprove. For decades, I was more afraid of disappointing others than of disappointing myself. I silently endured daily frustration, but the idea of someone looking at me and saying, "You've gone crazy, you gave everything up to follow a dream," was unbearable. So I put on the discreet shirt of the sensible man and shrank. I followed the recipe that pleases parents, bosses, and neighbors. I didn't realize that by avoiding the risk of looking foolish for a few years, I was guaranteeing the risk of dying with enormous regret. That's something no one tells you. A small discomfort today can save you from an immense pain 20, 30, 40 years from now. But we do the opposite. We run from immediate discomfort and blindly accept a future, silent pain that one day visits us in the dark of a hospital room. That's when I understood what too late really means. I used to think too late was an age, a number, a milestone in old age. Today I know too late doesn't arrive when you get wrinkles or gray hair. It arrives the day you decide, deep down, that it's no longer worth taking even one step toward what you love. Too late is not the moment when the body weakens. It's the moment when hope goes quiet. And that decision to go quiet can happen at 25, at 40, at 60. I just had the misfortune, or maybe the luck, of hearing my own voice too late to live an entirely different life, but early enough to warn you. Maybe, as you listen to me, you're thinking, all of this is very moving, but I have bills to pay, a family, a routine. I can't just drop everything to chase a whim. I understand. I used to repeat that to myself too, and it was exactly that way of thinking that kept me paralyzed. So let me be clear, I'm not suggesting you blow up your life tomorrow morning, quit your job, end your marriage, sell your house and go play guitar in the street, unless that truly is what your heart tells you and you're willing to accept the consequences. What I'm asking, from an old man to someone who still has time, is something simpler and deeper. Stop repeating my excuse, now is not the time. Because, in reality, the only time you actually have is this one. Ask yourself honestly, without masks, what is the letter in your drawer today? It might be a business idea, an invitation, a course you've always wanted to take, a country you've always wanted to see, a conversation you've always avoided. What is the guitar in the closet you hide from everyone? Maybe for you it's writing, painting, teaching, helping, healing, cooking, starting a venture. Whatever makes time disappear when you do it. Whatever you would do spontaneously if money weren't an issue. If something came to your mind just now, do not ignore it. That's your real life raising its hand at the back of the room and saying, I'm still here. You don't need a grand heroic gesture. Start in a ridiculously small way. If it's writing, give 15 minutes a day or half an evening a week to putting words on paper. If it's music, take the instrument out of the case, even if it's only to play 2 songs before bed. If it's a dream of changing fields, start by studying, by talking to someone who's already on that path, by saving a little money specifically for that. If it's another country, research, learn the language, make plans. Don't underestimate the power of one small action done consistently. Decades ago, a simple email reply to that letter could have completely changed the route of my life. I didn't write it. You still can. People may laugh. They may say it's too late, that you've missed your chance, that now you have to settle. Let them laugh. Let them think what they want. The same people who now defend absolute prudence won't be by your side in the middle of the night when you have to face your own heart. In that moment, the only opinion that will really matter is yours. And I can guarantee you, it's far less painful to be criticized while you're alive than to be praised when it's already too late to change anything. I will never know who I could have been. I'll never know what it would have been like to live in a foreign city, to play in a small band, maybe fail miserably and come back home a few years later with stories to tell instead of regrets to swallow. I'll never know what kind of father, friend, or husband I might have been if I had lived a life aligned with what made me feel alive. That is the cross I carry and have learned to make peace with. But you still have something I have little left of: time. If you are breathing, if you can hear these words, if you still feel moved by anything at all, then it is not too late to change direction. You may not be able to change everything. There may be responsibilities, limits, circumstances. But you can change a few degrees. And a few degrees, over years, lead you to a completely different place. Don't wait for a hospital room to ask whether this is truly your life. Ask now, today, in the middle of your routine, while you can still get out of bed and do something, however small, about it. If some part of me has spoken to some part of you, I want you to turn that feeling into a commitment. Not to me, not to the internet, but to your future self, who will one day look back and either thank or blame your decisions today. Write, somewhere, in a notebook, on a note stuck to the mirror, in a comment under this video, a simple but powerful sentence: it's not too late to change. Every time the old fears return, read that sentence and remember this old man who sacrificed his own life so that you don't have to sacrifice yours. I can't go back, but I can still use my voice while it exists. If it has woken something in you, even a little, don't let that awakening fall back asleep. Choose one small action today, still today, that brings you one step closer to what makes your heart beat faster. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to exist. Because believe me, there's nothing heavier than reaching the end of the road and realizing that the path you were on, so safe and familiar, was never really yours.